Every year at the Lantern Festival, millions gather to view the lanterns. But have you ever wondered, what are we really celebrating? Today, the Lantern Festival feels like a night of celebration and brilliant displays. But this tradition goes back more than 2,000 years. It did not begin as a festival at all. At its origin stood a solemn act of worship, in which light played a central role. Our story takes us back to the Han Dynasty. On this night, long before it was known as the Lantern Festival, lamps were kept lit throughout the night as part of a solemn state ritual. Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty used this occasion to worship Taiyi, a supreme heavenly deity. These ritual lamps were seen as a bridge between heaven and earth, and a symbol of cosmic order and imperial legitimacy. In its earliest form, this use of light was not part of public celebration. They were displayed in temples and palace grounds, closely tied to state ritual and imperial authority. They were not yet symbols of festivity, but symbols of power. So how did a ritual practice of the court gradually become a festival shared across society? That transformation would unfold gradually over the dynasties that followed. To project imperial authority beyond the court, light had to be made visible beyond palace walls. This transformation reached its height during the Tang Dynasty. During the reign of Empress Wu Zetian, the court erected a massive rotating lantern wheel in the capital, towering to an extraordinary height and holding tens of thousands of lamps. It was draped in fine fabrics and adorned with precious materials. This was not an ordinary festival decoration. It was a grand political spectacle built from light, projecting imperial authority, wealth, and cosmic legitimacy in a form that could be seen and felt. Under Emperor Xuanzong of Tang, the display of light reached its peak. The festival period was extended, and towering lantern structures rose before the palace of Chang'an. Their brilliance came to embody the glory and strength of a thriving empire. As people gathered beneath this radiance, they felt themselves connected to a vast and powerful realm. In that moment, light became an invisible force holding the realm together. By the Ming Dynasty, the meaning of the Lantern Festival had shifted once more. Under the founding Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang, the festival stepped down from the elevated world of court symbolism. It entered the shared life of the towns and cities. Along the Qinhui River, vast lantern displays became part of the festive landscape. It was later remembered as a time when the distance between throne and populace briefly softened. The light that had long stood as a sign of authority no longer remained high above. It flowed into the life of the people, where imperial spectacle and everyday life began to intersect. As light became easier to obtain, it gradually moved from ritual spaces into the routines of daily life. The story of the lamp itself traces a long path of change in form and function, from the small oil lamp of the Warring States era to the candle stands of the Tang and Song courts, and later to gas and electric lighting in Ming and Qing cities. The ways people lit the night slowly evolved, and with them, the rhythms of life after dark. Even in periods when light remained scarce, human ingenuity found ways to turn limited light into striking visual effects. A well-known example is the rotating lantern, or zumadang. Inside the rotating lantern, rising heat from a candle turned a hidden wheel, setting painted figures into gentle motion. The shifting images were more than ornament. They offered one of the earliest experiences of moving imagery, combining craftsmanship, simple mechanics, and visual storytelling. If motion captivated the eye, another lantern tradition engaged the mind. Riddles attached to lanterns, puzzles were written out and hung beneath the lights, inviting engagement from those who gathered. In this way, light became a medium not only for illumination, but for language and wit. The Lantern Festival gradually became a shared cultural practice, one that brought different groups of society into the same festive space. By this stage, the lantern had entered a new cultural role. It was no longer valued solely for its light, but for the craftsmanship, imagination, and shared experience it could hold. Today, neon, LEDs, and the glow of countless screens have turned night almost as bright as day. Light is no longer scarce. It is everywhere now, constant and readily available. So the real question is, do we still need moments when people gather around the same lights? When we look around, the answer is clear. Today, when people walk through large light festivals or traditional lantern fairs, it's rarely the light itself that holds their attention. As visitors move through these glowing spaces, Phones rise almost instinctively to capture the scene. Photos are taken and quickly shared. But this reaction is not just about recording what's happening. It is a quiet declaration of presence. In doing so, people place themselves inside a tradition that has stretched across centuries. The lights are no longer just appreciated for their brightness. They act as points of connection, linking personal experience to a shared cultural memory. The form of the lantern continues to evolve. Today it appears in digital red envelopes sent through family chat groups, in video calls that bring distant relatives face to face, and in festival scenes recreated inside online worlds. The glow now comes from screens rather than candles or silk. But its role remains familiar. People still gather around light, using it to feel close, to mark important moments, and to experience them together. In the end, it becomes clear that people were never gathering for light alone. What people have long pursued has never been light alone, but connection. The feeling that a small flame can make a single life feel part of something larger. The warmth of standing together beneath the same glow. The quiet understanding that passes between strangers when a lantern riddle is solved. The subtle recognition of sharing the same light, even from different places. At its core, the lantern turns reunion into something we can see. Within the vastness of time and the crowd, it helps people recognize one another, and recognize what they share. Its journey runs from altar to marketplace, from candle flame to pixel, from the palm of the hand to the cloud. Its forms have changed endlessly, yet its purpose has stayed much the same. A warm signal, people kindle together against distance and forgetting. This brings us back to the original questions. Why do we need light? And why do we still need this shared ritual of lighting it? Perhaps we seek light not only to see the world more clearly, but to recognize the same light in one another. When countless lights are lit at the same moment, whether high along palace rooftops, glowing over a hometown bridge, or shining from behind phone screens, they are part of a familiar human act. They bring individuals together into a shared present shaped by light. Within this glow lives a lasting human warmth, a sense of civilization carried forward across time. It is a moon of the human world, steady and enduring. A steady light people return to again and again.